Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and place to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week so far and had a great day. Let's get to it because we got 5 full pages of notes from night 1 of a 2-night Bachelor in Paradise this week. This was something. Okay. So it was 3 hours. 3 hours is too long. It should just be 2 hours. Okay. So right off the bat, the theme song is back. The theme song is back. I prefer the other way. However, I like that the theme song is back. And the taglines underneath the name during the episode, those are back, which I love. Okay, so we start off with day 4. Day 4, right off the bat, Brian is giving Zoe the cold shoulder. Like, he's claiming that she's getting clingy. But here's the thing. He doesn't even say anything to her. Clingy is like you're sidled up to them and you're up their ass the whole time. That is not what Zoe is doing. Now this week, the men are the ones who are going to have the roses. And that means that most of the men are open to exploring. Most, with the exception of Justin and Spencer, who I love. Listen, I'm going to get this right out of the way right now. Spencer and Jess are totally locked in on each other. So, unfortunately, they didn't get a lot of time this week. They didn't get a lot of screen time, which I didn't like because I love them as a couple. And I love Spencer. But I had seen online, people were saying, they're endgame, they're locked in, there's no drama with them, they can leave the beach. I don't think they should leave the beach at all because what they have is what people go there looking for. That's why you watch. You want to see a couple that's just, falling in love and then leaving and like having a life together. That's what you see. And that's what, seriously, and that's what, if anyone is there to find true love, if anyone is there to find love, it's Spencer. So no, don't take them off the beach. They're my absolute favorite. Okay, so there is going to be some new arrivals, and we get that right near the top of the show because we got 2 ladies coming in on jet skis, all giving off all sexy vibes, and it is both 2 ladies from Grant's season, and that is Parisa and Allie Joe. They're greeted by Spencer, Jonathan, and Brian. Listen, Brian, and who else? Is Dale there? No, I think just those 3. Brian immediately, he don't even know who it is. He just says, there's 2 ladies that are arriving, and they are hot as hell. Listen. He's a horn dog. He isn't there for the right reasons. He's there to experience. He's there to get a grope on. Now I'm wondering if there's going to be any kind of like drama between Allie, Joe, and Zoe because they did have some issues on Grant's season. Okay, so both of the ladies get date cards, which is what always happens. Both the new arrivals, Parisa and Allie Joe, they're talking to Zoe. Zoe pulls them aside and she's like, hey, listen, I got a thing with Brian. We're going, we got a good thing going. So don't take my man, okay? Haha. But no, for real, don't take my man. So then Parisa's like, oh, did you say don't take your man? Okay, I'm going to go and talk to your man. I could see why she would want to. I mean, she was like, I noticed him right away. It was probably from the greasy hair that he has. He looks like, listen, he is the least attractive out of any of the men on that island. And he's with probably the most stunningly gorgeous woman on that beach. But okay, Paris is attracted to Brian. Don't take my man, which was a little much on like Zoe's part, because it is paradise and they can like explore. But Parisa just immediately was like, don't take him. Okay, I'm gonna go get him. So they're talking, and he says he doesn't know if like he's with Zoe, but he doesn't know if that's, I don't know if that's my person. We don't really have like a real big connection. And I've never had such natural conversation with anybody but you. I've never had this before. Then they cut to like 24 hours before when him and Zoe were laughing and kissing and getting down. He's a player. Okay, and Allie Joe, who's she attracted to? Well, she's attracted to Dale. She's talking to Dale. And Dale is he was talking about his one-on-one, and he was really kind of, in my mind, downplaying like the connection that they had. He's like, yeah, we went on a boat. She got sick. Not anything like, he didn't say anything about how calm she made him feel and how he felt like, he had said before, there could be something, I see something in her, none of that. Okay, so we have a chemistry test. So what they do is they break up the men and women. They take the men here, they take the women here. Here's what it is. So each cast member is given a tablet and a picture of each of the castmates of the opposite sex will appear. If you would like to kiss that person, you hit yes. If you do not want to, you press no. And then if there's a match, like if Jess says yes to Spencer and Spencer says yes to Jess, then they meet up and they kiss. But let's say Zoe said, I would like to kiss Jeremy. I don't know why. I would like to kiss Jeremy. And that's terrible. That's not a great example, because the two men that put everybody down was like Jeremy and Brian. But no, Jeremy probably did put Zoe. So if Jeremy says, I would like to kiss Zoe, and Zoe says no to him, then boom, they don't match. So that's it. And the thing is, you don't have to tell anybody who you chose to kiss. Okay, so I don't know. I put this isn't going to be good. However, it doesn't really seem like it caused any problems. So everybody, all the guys are going hog wild and putting down like everybody, with the exception of Justin and Spencer. Okay, so Jonathan and Alex haven't kissed yet, which I find is odd. See, that's the thing. To me, they seem to be more friends. Like, she's really awkward, goofy, funny. I think they're better as friends. They haven't kissed yet. So who does Jonathan kiss? Jonathan got four kisses. And that was Alex, Allie Joe, Parisa. Parisa did it while chewing gum. And who else? Bailey, which is crazy because isn't Alex and Bailey like best friends? So the best kiss for him was Alex, and number 2 was Bailey. Okay, Zoe is wondering like, okay, well, the way he's been acting, is Brian even going to be there? Brian was there, and he's like, there's a connection. Now I feel this connection. So she leaves. They kiss, and then Zoe leaves, and then Brian backs out and acts like he is leaving, but he doesn't leave. He walks back in, and who is there but Parisa? She says, she says in a confessional, I don't owe Zoe anything. Listen, she's asking him out on a one-on-one date. He's like, he nasty. You taste good. Now listen, he said yes. He said yes on more than just 2 people. I guarantee he said at least 4. He only got 2. Okay, good for you. Okay, next was Jess, and the only one that she kissed was Spencer, and the only one that Spencer put that he wanted to kiss was Jess, and I love it. Okay, next was Jeremy. He kissed Bailey. Now listen, he said yes to 4 women, to 4, and he was waiting there. He's like, I said yes to 4 women. Let's get ready for this. Banaka. Boop, boop. Who shows up but a producer? They're like, no, it's just me. There's nobody else. Justin only put Lexi, and Lexi only put Justin. That was uncomfortable. She is still very hung up on and very worried about him not being over Susie, which is gonna get a lot more awkward and a lot more drama. Okay. We have the next person that got 4 kisses, and that is Dale. Alex, because she wanted to see if they could be more than friends. They can't. They can't be more than friends. She didn't know what to do with herself. Kat, that right there was like that was probably the most comfortable he felt. Allie Joe and Zoe, which with Zoe it said underneath her name when she was kissing him, Brian who? So Wells then talks to everybody, and he's like, so who's got mononucleosis? After this, okay, listen, after this, and they didn't even have their one-on-one date. After this, Brian's going to give that rose to Parisa. I guarantee you that. So, Brian and Zoe have a chat, and she's like, hey, listen, what's going on here? This has been a major shift from last night. You didn't even talk to me. You didn't even say hello. You didn't even say good morning. I was getting coffee and breakfast. That's critical. Here's what I can do. When I get coffee and my breakfast, I can also talk at the same time. I can say good morning. I can say hello. I mean, when I go to Starbucks and I'm getting a coffee and my breakfast, I say hello. When Dolly comes out in the morning and joins me at the breakfast table, I say good morning, even if I'm getting coffee and breakfast and I can talk. That's bullshit. He's saying this, and once again, he's feeling like she's getting clingy. Zoe says listen, off camera, she's not into playing games. And she just noticed that the shift in how it was from before he was talking to her. He was by her side. He was talking to her. Now, he didn't even talk to her. They're talking everything. And then she's like, the one person that I would prefer that you didn't try to explore with is Parisa. So who do you think comes up and talks and steals him away? She's like, so he's like, well, I'll go. I'm gone. And I think Brian said something like, oh gosh, that was the worst, or thank God, or something like that. So Parisa gives the date card to Brian. And of course, he's slobbering all over her. Yes, of course. Of course. Okay. So Alex and Jonathan then are talking. And Allie Joe steals him away to just, put him in the running also for the one-on-one date. And then did he really say that, listen, if you would want to ask me out, I would go. He's up for exploring as well. She then talks to Dale. I felt like she was more attracted to Dale, and I felt like she had more chemistry with Dale. I think I have listed here, I think she is going to be asking Dale. But I was wrong, because she then picked Jonathan. And of course he would love to go. Alex goes from being not stressed at all to, it said underneath, clearly stressed. Okay, so the date card. This is actually, it's a double date with the couples. So the couples go out, they meet Wells, and it's game night. So they have these stupid games. They have like the twerk off. They have climb up on ya, where the women have to climb up on the guy and like go all around him and in between his legs and everything without like touching the ground. And then the last one was arm wrestling. And hey, listen, I gotta give it to Jonathan, because he beat that big guy. But I noticed that they didn't show Brian. They didn't show Brian arm wrestling him, because he probably either lost or would have lost. He would have lost. So Brian and Parisa are talking, and listen, Brian was like, so 24 hours ago, I was with Zoe. I had no idea if there was a connection, or if I could see myself in the future with her. And now suddenly I do. I feel like I'm with somebody that I could see myself spending my life with. You've known this woman for 20 minutes, and this all of a sudden, no, I know, love at first sight, but this dude isn't love at first sight. This guy doesn't see with his eyes. He sees with his one eye down below. Now back at the resort, the ladies are really stressing. I'm like, well, they're really stressing. I'm thinking, well, maybe there is going to be a man coming in. That's what we need. We need a man, but instead it's a lady with a drink. It turns out it's Jill. And I was like, wait, Jill? So Jill was on the same season as our other guest tonight. But she was also on, she was on Clayton's season, and she was on season 8 of Bachelor in Paradise with Justin. So they're all real excited to see her, and Jill is hilarious. Like, I wish that they would have put Jill on in one of the early groups, because I think it's shitty that she just gets to spend, I'm not going to say that she doesn't have all of the advantages that everybody else has of getting to know people. I think she's hilarious. So Justin, she was on in Bachelor in Paradise with Justin. So her and Justin talk, and she's like, okay, who's good to go? Who should I look at? She's like, well, Jeremy, Dale, and Jonathan. Don't do anything with Spencer, because Spencer is off limits. He's taken. Lexi is still really hung up on Susie. She's worried that Justin hasn't healed and hasn't moved on. So she's putting up this wall to protect herself. And she's talking to Justin. She's like, we can't move on romantically because I just can't, I can't get past this. I mean, she's been hurt before in situations like this, and she doesn't want to be somebody's like number 2 consolation prize. So she's then like pushing him away, and she's telling him to explore other options. Like, we're here in paradise. We should be able to explore. I'm going to explore. I think you should explore as well. But he doesn't want to. Like, I don't know that Bachelor in Paradise is something for Justin, because I feel like Justin is now, he doesn't want to just date. Like, he wants to find his person. He doesn't just want like to explore. And he tells her that, and she's like, well, I want to just take a breather from this. We gotta just take a breather from this and figure it out and just look out there and see and explore. So once again, the big thing that she's still hung up on is like, is he fully healed from Susie? I'm telling you, the devil works hard. These producers work harder, because who comes in after a clap of thunder but Justin's ex, Susie? Dun, dun, dun. Yes, the drama. These producers are diabolical. It turns out they broke up just 4 months before. And I can understand why Lexi would be a little worried about, like, has he healed yet? Because 4 months isn't that long. Why do I have Clayton's looking interested? Clayton. I meant Jeremy. Susie comes in. Jeremy is interested. Jeremy, we find out that Susie was like number 1 on Jeremy's wish list of people he wants to see in paradise. So Jill and Susie, they were on Clayton's season together. They talk, and she's telling him, listen, here's who's definitely off. Spencer and Jess, they're endgame. They're locked up. Don't go near Spencer. Okay. Then Jeremy has a chat with Susie. And I'm like thinking, this is gonna be awkward. And this is gonna be weird having these 2 exes here. And these weren't exes that are like from the past. Like from the past. I mean, it is from the past, but not like the distant past. He tells her, they're talking. He's like, I am with Bailey, but I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, and made it very clear to her that I was hoping that I would see you on the at Sunset at Bachelor Paradise. Okay, so the 2 couples come back from their one-on-one dates, and Brian goes over to Zoe, but it isn't even like a full hug or kiss or anything. It's like she's seated and he bends down and he kind of gives her a side hug. What's a side hug? And even worse, a bend down side hug. So then he doesn't say nothing to her. He just says, oh, he maybe says, hey, and then hugs her like that, like a Duggar would. And then like sneaks off and meets Parisa in the pool. People saw this. Zoe feels disrespected, which I absolutely get why you would feel disrespected, because you played her the night before just to get this rose, and now here you are right here, right out in the open almost. And if you didn't listen, And if you didn't think that this was something, because later on he's like, we just wanted to keep the date going. Okay, well then, if you didn't think it was so bad what you were doing, why didn't you just swim out in the public, in front of people? Okay, so Zoe's thinking like, well, that's very disrespectful. So if you're going to do this to me, then I'm going to sneak out on you. Let's go talk to Dale. That didn't work out because Dale was like, thanks, but I got Kat. My focus is on Kat. Okay, so you shouldn't have put your eggs all in that basket, Zoe. He was a player. I could have told you from the jump that he was a player. Okay, Justin and Susie, they have a one-on-one talk. And listen, Susie is like, he's like, are you okay? Or is everything okay? She's like, everything's good. He's like, tell me. It's not, tell me. And then she just starts crying. She starts crying a little bit, and she says she's okay, but she's not okay. She said it's really tough to be here with Justin, but in a way it's comforting. I think it's just because they were such great friends. And she's crying, and he feels her pain, and he starts crying a little bit. She's like questioning if maybe she made a mistake coming to Bachelor in Paradise. My question is, why did they break up? Because to be honest with you, when they're sitting there and they're talking, I almost feel like it was like it was right person, wrong time. You know? I feel like I'm low key. I was kind of hoping that they would get back together because they obviously have a lot of love for each other. So I don't know. I felt bad. I felt real sad for her. I just did. Okay, day 5. So it's once again, day 5, it's the morning. Brian's sitting there having breakfast. Zoe is right next to him. He can't say one word to her. He didn't say nothing. He didn't say one word to her. But then Parisa and Allie Joe come in, and he's all like, oh, hi, hey, what did you guys do? We worked out. Oh, you're too pretty to work out. Ugh, I can't stand it. Very disrespectful. And the reason why I'm saying this is disrespectful is because he couldn't, after he comes back from his date with Parisa, he doesn't go over and talk to her. He just completely blows her off. He can't go over and be like, hey, can we talk? I just want to let you know, our date went very well, and I feel like I have a better connection. I feel like I might have a better connection with Parisa. I just wanted to let you know. Instead, he totally takes the cowardly way out, and he doesn't say anything to her, and he ghosts her. And that's shitty. And that is, once again, that's juvenile, and that's shitty. So, Jonathan, moving on to Jonathan. Jonathan is saying that Alex is his number 1. But here's the thing. Those two give me more of like friendship vibes, or like friendship vibes. And she even says like she's not feeling any kind of like pull to him that's making her want to like just, ravage him, which I don't. Get your vision checked. I just had mine checked, and listen, that man could have gravitation. That man could charm the wood off a door. So what are you, crazy? Okay, so there is a date card for Susie, And why do I have Susie and Lexi? Susie and Jill. Susie is going to definitely ask out Jeremy, but Jill, she really hasn't been talking to anybody, and nobody's really coming up to Jill. Jill is low on the radar. So like I said, I think she's getting the shaft. So Brian pulls Zoe aside to talk. And before they talk, Zoe is wondering if she got duped for Rose. You did. He's a player. He is a player. And you know how we know he's a player is because number one, whenever they, at the beginning when he was saying that the men have the roses, he said it in a real skeevy way. Like, the men have the roses this week. Oh, boobies, you know? And also, look at him. No, and also, I mean, just the way that he moved on, like, so quickly. Like, if you really had feelings for someone, or if you were looking for love, like, why would you treat somebody like that? Anybody who can move on that quickly from woman to woman, they're a player. He's a player. He says to her, listen, hey, I had a better connection with Parisa. But like I said, then why not be a stand-up guy, and just tell her after that, instead of ghosting her. And instead of now gaslighting her into believing that she's wrong about this, or that she's being too clingy. Like, she's like, you ignore me. He's like, what are you talking about, ignore? I don't ignore you. I love how the producers then went back and pulled like a Bravo and showed him like sitting there next to her, just ignoring her and not talking. And he was like, I wanted to continue talking to Parisa because it was a shared date. We didn't have a lot of private time. And then don't they put up this flashback to the date where it's like private time, just him and Parisa talking. Loved it that the producers had done that. So that was basically the end. Like, they were done talking and they're done, period. So he's definitely, I said before, from Jump Street, as soon as he met Parisa, he was going to give Parisa one. Okay, Lexi and Susie were talking it out. And we're talking about Justin. Lexi was sharing the fact that she was just nervous about picking Justin because maybe he hasn't moved on yet. And Susie is like, everything's good between us, and you should pick him. He really wants to be with you, and this and that. I love seeing women working things out maturely like that. And I like that, like, even though Susie is his ex, she's still willing to work, she wants to see him happy. So I love that. Okay, Allie Jo's gonna shoot her last shot with Dale. I still don't understand why she picked Jonathan when I felt like she liked Dale more, and I feel like she had like more chemistry with Dale. That being said, her throwing her legs up all over him, I thought that was awkward. I thought that was awkward. Kat saw that was happening, and she had to get up in his sight line so that he didn't forget about her. And Jill is still looking for a date, which is terrible. So she's talking to Jonathan, and he's like, well, listen, if you don't find anybody else, yes, I would absolutely love to go with you on the date, talk to other people, but if not, yes, I would love to. So speaking of the date, Susie asks Jeremy out, and he says yes. You knew he was going to say yes, but he then goes and asks Bailey. See, this is what you do, Brian. This is what you do. you go over and you talk to the woman that you're with and you just ask, as a courtesy. And Bailey was like, oh yeah, go ahead, that's fine. She is very confident. She's actually kind of even overly confident. So on the date, they go jet skiing and they're having some champagne and they're kissing and they're making out. This is going to be a tough decision for Jeremy. So Jill and Jonathan have their date. Jonathan, I thought it was so sweet because Jonathan was like, I told, he's like, I talked to Alex and I told him it's going to be friendly vibes. And if this is maybe Jill's, only night in paradise, I want her to have fun and I want it to be a good night for her, which was very sweet of him to do. It was a fun date. It was like they played Twister and then they swam a little bit. It was mostly friend vibes. It was like a friendly vibe, but there was a little bit of a spark whenever they kissed. My question is, if Jill was there a little bit earlier, would there maybe have been more? And because I liked Jill. I thought Jill was funny. I thought Jill was hilarious. Okay, so it's raining out. Of course, it's always raining there. So it's raining and the boys and girls, they're talking it out separately. There are some red flags or some cautions. Brian is saying, things with Parisa, they got hot really quickly, and those tend to usually they don't last long for me, which raises kind of an eyebrow for Spencer. We'll talk about that later. And Parisa on the other side, she's like, I am a little skeptical of Brian because, what if what he's doing to Zoe, he does to me? What do I say? You'll lose him how you get him. And Jeremy is saying, listen, I had fun with Susie, but I feel guilty because of Bailey. And then Bailey is finally feeling a little nervous about what Jeremy's gonna do. She's feeling a little nervous. Okay, so Jeremy, and listen, the producer that put under Jeremy's name, not used to having choices. But I'm going to tell you, I thought he was a low down dirty dog, but I do give him credit and respect that he's actually talking all of this out with Bailey. So he's not leaving her in the complete dark. I like that. Lexi and Justin talk, and after talking to Susie, she is feeling confident and comfortable with where Justin's at. Justin, everything seems to be good between the two of them. Jonathan and Jill are talking. I thought it was interesting. But it seems like he's saying there's not really a deep connection between him and Alex. It seems like it's more friends. Can they get past the friendship? So is it just all awkward humor and friendship right now? I think so. And lastly, Susan and Jonathan talk. This is very telling. He says he feels guilty that his experience there is better, and it's because of her. And that she always gets the short end of the stick. And they had vowed that they would always have each other's back. And he had always said that he's going to protect her. And he's feeling really guilty that he's finding what he wants, but she isn't. And he says, I know what I have to do. So that's very telling going into the rose ceremony. So at the rose ceremony, we have, number one, of course, Spencer and Jess. Then we have Dale and Kat, Jeremy and Bailey. This was surprising to me, but what swung it for him towards Bailey is how confident Bailey is in wanting to be with Jeremy. Next, no surprise here, Brian and Parisa, but that eye roll from Spencer was chef's kiss. He says he doesn't think Brian's there for love. He feels like he's there to cop a feel. And how he handled the whole situation with Zoe was cowardly. I agree. 100%. That is why Spencer is our king. Next was Jonathan and Alex. Alex says she's a little worried because they haven't gone past friends. And lastly, Justin picks, and everybody's like, oh, he's going to pick Lexi. Justin picked Susie. And then she said, and then she declined it. And then he left, and then she left. Now listen, he did that. He was sacrificing his chance at finding love so that she could have her chance at love. And I thought that was noble of him to do for her. But I also felt there was part of me that did not feel bad for Lexi because she was like, I'm going to put a pin in this. But then there's a part of me that feels badly because she did take that pin out and she wanted to move forward. And she was like, I knew something was going to happen and I didn't trust my gut. I should have trusted my gut and I didn't. So we'll find out tonight. I don't know who is gonna go home. I mean, well, Susie would go home. I mean, what's gonna happen to Justin and Lexi? Lexi's, who knows? So tonight, I got 9 minutes, and I have to make up some charcuterie. So tonight it's 2 hours and the Goldens are finally showed up. I can't wait for the Goldens to show up. Okay, so in the comments, let me know what you thought. If nobody told you yet today, you were loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world. And also be aware, nope. Let's put kindness out there. Let's spread kindness. It's free. Also, always be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with some water. And number 4, if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy so you make it through. Love you guys. Oh, I got to go get my Diet Coke and some charcuterie. Bye, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.